Hello, Sacred Souls. I'm Louise from the Sacred Truths Group. I'm here today with Russ and Mary Jo Gentert, correct? Gentert, okay, with Alpine Essence Farm, and we're here to learn how they distill the pure essence of plants and maybe learn more about structured water.
Good, very good.
So this is your
This is where we start, even though it's not really blooming right now. These beds here are normally chamomile. We grow chamomile. Russ actually does it from seed, starts our own plants. This year, he had a successful crop. They were about this tall at least.
Oh, yeah.
So super thick. It was wonderful. Chamomile, if you feel it, it's super soft. Its properties act like that too. So it softens the skin, it lightens the skin, and we grow it because it is a wound healer. But it is amazing what it does for the skin and also the hair. Chamomile seeds are super, super fine, like eyelashes. And we've had the hardest time getting them going by seed. But this year, Russ did it by starter in our basement, kind of made a little grow house, I guess. And they did wonderful.
Chamomile is what they call a self-seeding annual. So they die off every year, but they drop their seeds, and if you're lucky, in the spring, they come back up on their own. Not as successfully as you would like most of the time with chamomile. Like Mary Jo said, the seeds are really small. In the springtime, because of the cold, they have a hard time germinating, so this year we just made plugs, little starter plugs, and populated our beds with those, and it was very, 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 very successful, and the plants really did well. Got 2 cuts out of it. We get a couple batches to distill out of every cut, and so far that's supplied our needs.
Chamomile works, as you know, from a tea or topically. And either way you put it in the body, it is for the nervous system. So it helps both the parasympathetic and the sympathetic both kind of take a little breath. It kind of goes, and you can actually feel it when you spray your face and inhale. You can literally feel your whole system kind of go, ah.
So how much of this production that you have going on here, this is only a portion of what you guys need for the products that you make, correct?
Correct.
So how many other farms do you...
Right now I have 3.
You have 3?
And we just added 2 more this fall that we haven't gotten from them, but they came on board and wanted to grow. One grows lavender for us east of Berthoud, and then another one about a mile from here, Desiderata Farms. They are going to grow peppermint for us this coming year. And our birds are helping.
Yeah, the birds are helping.
These next 3 beds are calendula.
Okay. Were calendula, so you guys chopped them all down.
They look like they're a form of marigold. So these beds are gorgeous in the summer. They're my favorite. They'll get about that tall, and it's a solid sea of oranges and yellows, different dark and light orange. It's just gorgeous. Calendula has been known as a pot marigold. That's the other name. And that actually comes from the name Mary's Gold. And they believe it was named that in honor of the Virgin Mary.
Oh, okay.
The flowers have been used for hundreds of years, if not further back, as wound healers. They speed up cellular regeneration of the skin. So anytime we have a wound, it speeds it up quickly, even in animals. This is primarily why I use it. Not only does it speed up any skin regeneration of wounds, but it also heals like sunburned skin or inflamed skin, even from something we ate that would dry it out. It does a phenomenal job at that. So that's the main reason we use it. As you can see, it kind of grows everywhere. It kind of takes over.
Right. I mean, calendula is similar to chamomile. It's a self-seeding annual. But the main difference is that's a calendula seed. I mean, it actually looks like a little seashell, but that's a calendula seed. And
if we could
each
see that or
flower
not.
each flower bud has
Oh, okay.
probably over 100 of those in it. So when the flowers seed and drop their seeds everywhere, I mean, it's just everywhere, and they get in the, it's just everywhere.
It's
If
just
the
a-
wind blows, you'll find them in the lavender
Oh,
field.
yeah. And they have no problem in the spring. You can just throw that in
Oh,
there.
okay, just throw that back in.
Oh, yeah. They have no problem self-seeding in the spring. We actually have to come through here and thin them. Otherwise, they choke themselves out. We let them, we get 2 cuts out of it, and then we let the flowers and the stems just kind of hang out for a while because the grasshoppers really migrate to them, and we can't really control the grasshoppers.
Yeah.
If you're going to have them, I'd just soon have them in something in one spot.
We can't control them naturally very well.
Right.
Yeah.
Grasshoppers been bad this year too.
They
so-
have. They have.
Yeah, they have. So, yeah, and just about a week ago, I cut them down, and we'll let them die off and kind of get back into the soil and be ready for next spring.
The 4 beds up there, we converted them this year, and they're all 4 peppermint beds. And that's what Russ is distilling today in the back. Peppermint, we get 2 to 3 distillations a year from. Peppermint, you pretty much have to keep it contained, otherwise it'll creep out and overtake everything, even the lawn. But this is a regular peppermint, not spearmint. Peppermint in the body is amazing. It actually cools inflammation. It will calm and cool the muscles even.
So, take your finger and kind of rub that, and then smell your finger. You'll pull the oil right off the leaf.
Yeah, and it's like, and so isn't that true of most mints though? Is that they kind of take over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This mint, the reason we stuck with this one is, instead of going with the spearmint family, is not only does it calm and cool muscles, which works kind of like the old-fashioned icy hot, this one heals guts.
Yes.
And so we've been putting the hydrosol in our water bottle, and we'll put like a teaspoon depending on your taste.
Flavor to taste.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go a little more, but it's amazing how good you start feeling. And it kind of works like coffee in the mornings. It gives you a little bit of a jolt. We don't ever drink it after about 3, but
So it can keep you awake like caffeine or no?
I think not like caffeine to where it doesn't boost you, but it makes it so I can't just relax and go straight to sleep.
Oh, okay, got it.
And so I don't drink it after the probably 3 o'clock after dinner area. I don't. But I found that ironically, it started working better than icy hot. Icy hot is a cream. Anytime you put a cream on top of your skin, it doesn't have the correct molecular weight to go in. And so that means it's only going to go so far and soothe the inflamed muscles and skin and tendons and ligaments that are near the surface. But if you put something in straight from a plant that has the exact molecular weight to go in, including its lipids, encased in a lipid, it goes deep. And so that's why that is working so well. I combined that with rose geranium, and it is amazing. It'll work in less than 2 minutes.
So that, and I noticed that on your website that you have that paint away spray. What is that?
That's what
you
that
put?
is,
The
yeah.
Paint away spray. So that's
Yeah.
the peppermint and the.
That's
It
okay.
works on like an athlete that might have overdone it and he has sore muscles, or someone that has a lower back that aches, or somebody that has swollen knees that are from edema. And I have a woman now that is going to need a knee replacement, but so far it has taken the edema out, and
wow.
she's doing great. She does it about every other day, so I'm not sure to what point that's going to help her body. You're taking out inflammation, and then at that point the body comes in and heals itself. And so we'll see how far it takes her, but it has become our second bestseller this summer as
wow.
a surprise. I got it from trying it on my clients, and it was quite the surprise how fast it worked.
The nice thing about peppermint is I've cut these 2 beds on the east side down for the distillation today. We'll get another batch out of these 2 beds, and then it'll die off all the winter, and it comes back all by itself.
It comes back. Oh, it's a perennial. Okay, got it.
So nice.
This has become my favorite baby.
Your favorite baby.
Yeah. Which was unexpected. These 4 rows, they were lavender. We took out the lavender and started growing rose geranium. And they're grown in these black grow bags. Run your fingers across it. I gotta go check.
I gotta go check his process there.
It's used as perfume,
Mm-hmm.
like in France. It's used as a base to perfumes. Well, in South Africa, they found out that it's curing cancer,
Wow.
internally and externally. So you can put it on your skin. They're having great luck with it, especially when they combine it with pine. It is getting rid of precancerous skin lesions and stopping cancer. They're even having great luck drinking it, which I don't think it tastes very well. But so we started adding it, and not only did we see a boost in every single formula that we were putting it in, it's now in almost everything, I think. I have never seen anything work so well. And Russ grows these year-round. They don't grow in Colorado very well in the winter. They don't like cold and snow.
Right.
So he built a small greenhouse for ours, and they go in there. And they love it. They bloom little pink flowers all winter. He distilled, I believe, once last winter. Otherwise, we distill 3 times a year in the summer.
Now, is that in your, the
It's in the moisturizer.
moisturizer? Okay.
And
that's
it's in the Panic and Anxiety with chamomile. It's also in the Skin Health. I had early spring, I had 4 men coming to me, clients. I'm also a Jinshin practitioner. It's a form of Japanese acupuncture. And I also do neural work with neurons. Anyway, they were coming with precancerous skin lesions all over their forehead and the top of their head. They were retired farmers. And so I wanted to experiment, and I put together rose geranium with some white pine from those studies, and I also combined a little bit of calendula to speed up the healing of the wound, and I combined a little bit of magnesium, and it took them away, 100% away. We were surprised how fast it did it. I had actually forgotten about it, and it was about 6 weeks later, and they come back and they said, "Hey, we need more of that." And I said, "More of what?" And they said, "The stuff. Look at our face." And it was shocking. So then I put together a tester group of my clients, and the women that were in it brought it back and said, "Okay, feel my arms." And I was looking at her arms, and I said, "I don't really see a difference." And she goes, "No, but feel them." You would not have believed it. The one woman is near 70, and when you felt her arms, they were significantly different. The one arm felt normal. It felt like her skin was thick and smooth, and the other one was more papery thin. Well, the rose geranium restored elasticity.
So, which product is the one that you designed with the white pine and
That's this one.
The
That's the
rose
healthy skin.
the healthy skin one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the women of my tester group, anytime I want to test something, my entire line is made from my clients' needs. It's a wellness line, so it's geared to heal and restore something. And so anytime I notice that there's a common ailment going on, then I start working to find something that would help them. And this one, the women said it restored elasticity so fast that they wanted me to turn it into a moisturizer. And so we have it as a plain spray, like right out of the shower, a spray on any skin ailment, any skin disorder. It is phenomenal on it. It's super fast. And so then I turned it into a moisturizer, more for the face, more for arms and legs, and it's been remarkable.
And people can find these on alpineessencefarm.com.
Yes.
Is that what that is? Okay. And then I don't know if maybe later we could see some
Yep.
of your products
Yep,
as well. But
okay.
yeah.
The back half is all lavender. This is it started out as this whole front half used to be Grosso, and they were my favorite. They get really super tall. The colors weren't my favorite. They're more of a light iridescent purple. but the smell was intoxicating. And that everyone used to say, "Why does your hydrosol smell so different?" That was why. They don't like the snow.
Oh no.
And so they weren't coming back, and it seemed like we were taking out more than we were getting off of the harvest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, we're not doing that anymore. And so we've converted it. And so this half now is more, it's called Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
A guy invented it in Ohio, a lavender farmer, and it likes winter. And so
it tolerates
It tolerates it.
Yeah, I don't know that any lavender.
I don't know.
really
Yeah,
likes
lavender
does
I've tried to
tolerate.
grow. I have to bring it inside. So yeah, it doesn't like the cold. So the kind I
the
have.
back half are hid coat, and lavender is more of the cleaner, the skin cleanser. So it will clean out infections, bacteria. I use it mostly because it calms the nervous system, both the parasympathetic and sympathetic. So it helps regenerate your REM sleep. It makes it longer and deeper. And so we use it blended with blended with magnesium. And we spray it, or I recommend, mostly on the feet, on the bottom of the feet. But you could also put it wherever you have an issue. So say someone has leg cramps, or say they have restless leg syndrome. Then I would say put it on your legs. But it is fantastic at sleep, at restoring your nervous system. When your nervous system gets engaged, your melatonin comes up shortly after the sun goes down, and then your serotonin drops. Well, as the sun comes up, your melatonin drops and your serotonin rises. You need that metabolical flexibility in your nervous system, and nothing is better than lavender. Lavender is amazing at that. Your body knows how long of a REM sleep and how deep it needs. So it isn't that it will ever give you more than you can handle. That with the body being in charge of it, it knows exactly what to do with it and how much. And so that's our best seller. The best sleep one is by far our best seller year round.
And it's money. I mean, we use it every night before we go to bed.
Yeah, that's goals.
It's on our nightstand. It's on our nightstand.
It's like,
It is.
I'm gonna have to get all kinds of. Like, I've tried the moisturizer, which I love. And
Oh,
I've never
good.
seen that,
Oh,
so,
good.
yeah.
Now we can go in the back and see the distillation.
So we are distilling peppermint today, using steam distillation in our 8-gallon still. We put about 18 to 20 pounds of plant material in here, along with 3 gallons of spring water. We've got a false bottom that brings the plant material off the bottom, so when we apply the heat, it doesn't scald the plants. But we bring it to a boil, and at this altitude, that's about 205 degrees. We throttle it down a little bit, so we're not forcing a lot of boiling water, but just enough to generate pressure, so the steam comes through the plant material and into this distillation tower. Right here we have some copper mesh in the distillation tower, about 2 or 3 inches wide. That's to take out the impurities as the material goes through the distillation tower. The steam comes up to the tube and then comes through here. This is a double jacketed tube that we cool, and it drops the vapor back into a liquid. There are some different types of steam distillation. There's a type, it's called a dry steam, where you basically have a kettle just like this, and it acts as a boiler. So you boil the water, force the steam in here, and just the steam comes through the plant material. Your yield isn't quite as good, so this is kind of the method we've chosen.
So how is this different from, say, like making essential oils or something?
Good question. It is the same. So when they make essential oils out of peppermint or lavender or any of the plants we have, the only thing different they do is they skim the oil off the top. So if you look here, this is the first quart that came off, and you can kind of see that band right there.
Yeah.
That is actually oil, straight oil. So,
Let me smell it.
oh yeah, you can smell it,
Oh, that smells great.
doesn't it? So, the big peppermint producers, the big lavender producers, that's all they're after is the oil. They really don't care about hydrosol. that's a byproduct. They'll take the oil off, they'll skim it off, and they'll sell it to whoever wants to buy it. We don't do that with anything we use. We use everything that comes from the plant in all of our stuff.
So hydrosol is the pure plant extract then? It's everything that comes off of the
Yes.
plant
Yes.
then? Okay.
So the still itself is making the heat and the pressure is making the plant open, and all of its fluids are released from the plant. And so that's what's coming out. That's where they get the word essential oil, is from the essence of the plant. The essence is the fluid that's in a plant. That's where its nutrients are. That water in a plant, in every plant, is structured. And so that means it's living water. Unfortunately, the still kills it. The pressure of the still and the heat destructures it. I will show you how we restructure and make it living again. But when you distill, you're removing all of the fluid from a plant. That fluid is where all the vitamins and minerals, the lipids are, the polyphenols, same as in our body. All of our vitamins and minerals are in the fluids, in the structured waters. The structured waters are a form of energy in our body, same as what they are there. When a plant in the morning, any plant, it could be a leaf on a tree, it could be a blade of grass, or anything growing, when about 45 minutes approximately before the sun comes up, the electrons know it, and they start vibrating. It's a little dance they do. And right as the sun comes up and hits them, the cell splits. And so now you have one gets charged with a positive and one's a negative. Now they're structured and they're living.
Okay, so that's what the structured water is the positive
Yes.
and negative charge.
And so structured water under a microscope looks like this. So this row is structured. That's where snowflakes come from.
Wow, okay, so, and this is what we do.
And this is after going through a municipality filtering system. It destructures it, just like the still did. And so they didn't know for years what exactly that meant. They didn't know, they knew this was living water, but they didn't know what that meant. What will it do? Well, then a few years ago, I believe she's from New Zealand, a scientist, Vita Austin, she put structured water in a petri dish, and she wrote the number 4 on the petri dish, and then she froze it, and that's how it froze. That's how the water froze.
Oh, wow.
And so these 3 are photos, and she put a petri dish on top of the photo, a petri dish of structured water for 30 minutes. Each of these 3 different petri dishes, 3 different photos, took them off of the photo and froze them, and that's how they froze.
So this is with the structured water then. This is what water will do. It
Yes.
will form a structure around
Yes.
whatever.
So Dr. Jack Cruz studies this, and so does at the University of Washington. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Pollock, Gerard Pollock. They both study it, and now they know that structured water is what forms our gut bacteria. They always thought it was food. It's not. Food is fourth. Structured water and sunshine is first and second.
First and second.
Structured water, if you drink structured water, you can actually absorb, they're not sure, they know it's above 80%. If you don't drink structured water and you drink the destructured water, this water, then your body, it is believed right now that you can only absorb approximately 53%. Might explain why we're all dehydrated.
Yes, because we're drinking municipal water, even if we do have a good filter on our. So what about those big filter systems that you have that you can put in your home, and then they have all the minerals and stuff or whatever?
Like a
that
reverse osmosis.
Yeah, the reverse osmosis.
Where they remineralize the water, they filter it out, and then they remineralize it. I'm not really sure if that's living. I don't know. I haven't tested reverse osmosis water. If they're getting it if you're getting your water from the faucet and then putting it in that filter, it would not be living.
Right.
And I know ours isn't. We run it through a Berkey filter, and it's not living. I have to restructure it. And so they're now making devices that restructure it. It looks like a funnel, and it has been magnetically charged inside. It has spheres inside. So if you pour it through there, it automatically restructures it again. And you can test anything. So this is lavender hydrosol that we did. Smell that. I know.
I love these
It'll make your
smells.
mouth water. This is from the same field.
Oh, wow.
I know. But remember, I have 3 different varieties out there. And my growers all have the same 3, and then one has an additional one. So the smell will be slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I always know now which ones have been restructured. They have an S.
Okay.
And so you can test anything with a natural element. I test them with, this is birch wood, and then I also test with pure copper. And so the way you do that, I will see how living and how pure it is. It should move. It's not moving.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, look at it spin.
That's how you can tell it's moving. You can do that to any food. I will cut a lemon in half and measure it, and it will spin big circles. And then each day, measure it, and the circles get smaller and smaller until there's no living water in it. It's dead. Guess what foods have no living water in them, which would not do us any good?
Probably processed foods. I'm
Yes,
imagining.
or beef jerky, when they remove the fluids.
Right. Okay. So dried foods.
Right.
So any kind of like dried fruit, even.
Right.
So I love dried mango. So that's gonna be sad.
I'm sure they have some still in there, depending on how they do their process. But so when we found that out, which was this spring, I was testing all our hydrosol, and I went, oh, it's not living. But we did some research, and we ordered a filter, a charged filter, and now every hydrosol goes through there before we use it.
Now there is a way that you can make structured water without the filter, correct?
Yes. We can put it in a blue glass jar, an indigo blue glass jar, not a painted jar. It has to be true blue glass. And you put water in it, clean filtered water, and then put it out on the ground, on the earth, and let the sun hit it for approximately 3 hours.
Okay, and then so you could just make your own
You
structured
can.
water that way.
You can. And you can tell, I did a class here, and I had little cups of water, and I numbered them. And so I had 4. And I had 20-some women here, and believe it or not, every single one of them picked out the structured water. There's no flavor difference. It's a what would you call it? Texture difference. So it tastes, or it feels, for lack of a better word, it feels fluffy in your mouth. You can definitely tell. It's like, oh, the water's different. Almost like a softened water. And then they could tell, after they did all 4, they could tell the first one was right out of the tap. And then my second one was right out of the Berkey. And then the third one was Berkey and restructured. And then the 4th one was on the ground. And they all liked the ground one better.
So now I was listening to someone else talk about structured water, and they were saying that if you couldn't find the blue glass, you might be able to put it in clear glass on the ground, but you have to keep it out longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So blue glass is hard to find. There is a company that makes them now for that very reason, and it's called Blue Bottle Love. They're out of Hawaii, and I saw on their website, they now have a place, I don't know if it's a distribution place, I don't believe it's a store, but it's in Boulder, and they do sell all sizes. I just ordered a gallon one. I did have one, and I left it out on the ground, and it froze last winter. So I ordered another one to be a little more careful. But yes, you can put it out in clear glass, and it'll make it. It's just going to take all day.
It's going to take all day. So are we talking 12 hours of sunlight,
No,
8 hours?
probably 6 to 8 in a
6 to
clear.
8, and okay,
Yeah.
so 6 to 8 hours in a clear glass.
Yeah.
What does structured water do inside the body, as opposed to, you were saying that we only absorb about 53% of the regular water that we drink. So
Right.
what does structured water do when you drink that?
Rehydrates you.
rehydrates every organ, every system. But the best part, in my mind, is it increases circulation. So because of what I do here, I work with the electrical system of the body and neural work. The body heals 24/7 every day of your life. It is constantly healing with the movement of your electrical system. That's dependent on structured water. And so the more living water you have in you, the more healing will go on. That's what it uses to heal anything and everything, even including keeping your gut healthy, keeping your inflammation down. The structured water, they do a test, and it's called glycanage, and it will test the biological age of your cells in your body, and it will tell you how old your body says it is, how old it feels, basically. And studies are showing that if you drink the water, I believe that was 3 months, it's reversing their glycanage, reversing their age by anywhere, depending on the person, anywhere from 11 to 17 or 19 years. And I can tell you, that was what we noticed first. As soon as we started, Russ's skin reacted faster than mine did. And we were sitting down one evening, and it's like all of a sudden you're feeling your skin going, what in the world? And it was so soft, and it was restoring itself and getting thicker. Things were disappearing, like a mole would disappear. But his skin was baby soft, especially on his face. And his wrinkles started disappearing. And we were on our way down to Denver, invited to the Denver Botanic Gardens Festival, and to take all of our products down there. And he had me feel his face. We were in the car, and I said, what in the world? Why is yours acting so different? Well, I come to find out, he drinks about a gallon a day. And I was doing about 60 ounces. That was the difference. And so when I increased mine recently to about 100 ounces a day, it made a big difference. And that's when I started to see everything change. You feel better. You feel more energy. All of a sudden, aches and pains are going away. It's using the living water to heal. But the funny thing is, I was taught in classes that everyone should take your weight, divide it by 2, and that's the amount of ounces.
Right.
Well, then it came out a few years ago, yeah, we're wrong on that. It should be a little more. We think it's closer to 100 ounces approximately as a baseline. And then it depends on how inflammatory your body is. The more inflammation in your body, the more heat you have, and it takes more water.
Now, do you think that maybe the reason why we need so much water, per se, because if you look at like ancient cultures or whatever, they didn't drink as much water as we drink right now.
Right.
Is that because they were drinking structured water out of streams and stuff like
And
that?
what were they eating?
Yes, exactly. So we're pulling things out of our body, and so then we need that extra moisture put back in.
So structured water is in every fruit and vegetable. So if you're eating whole fruits and vegetables, you're getting perfect structured water.
Oh, okay.
But if you're not, if you're eating more of a refined food, you're getting no water. And so, yes, theoretically, if you're eating every day, especially raw fruits and vegetables or lightly steamed or cooked, then you're going to get plenty of your structured water through there also. And you may not need the 100 ounces. But I can tell you, I test every single client now that comes in, gets on the massage table, and first thing I test for is how hydrated is your body. You'd be surprised how dehydrated we all are.
Oh, I know I am.
But when I test that, then I follow up with how many ounces does your body need? And I kid you not, it's been laughable. Everybody's 100 ounces.
100 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay, so then so there you go.
That's right. Drink your 100 ounces
of water. And then try to make it structured water.
Right.
So for someone who is dealing with health problems or going through something like cancer or anything like that, this is just setting up a good base for whatever treatment that they're going to be using. Is that structured water and the whole foods?
Absolutely. I've had 2 female clients. One was our daughter. She fell rock climbing about 3 years ago, I believe it was, and she dislocated both ankles. And so when we went into the emergency room, her toes on the right foot were backwards. And then the left foot, they were not quite backwards. Well, they could not get her relocated, and so her ankle. And so they sent us by ambulance down to University, UC Health Denver, and they could not get it relocated. So they put together a trauma team, and they had to go do surgery. Well, at the time, they told us, we're not sure what she'll have left of that ankle, of the right ankle. The left one, we're just gonna surgically repair it. It has a little crack in it, and it'll be fine. She'll lose some mobility, but not much. Well, the right ankle, they said it'll be a year before that ever even touches the ground. And I said, okay. Well, at the time, she was single, so we moved her back home, and every night I worked on her, just forcing circulation through that ankle. And she was walking in 97 days.
Wow.
Since then, I had a doctor send me a female, 33 years old, that fell off of a horse. She was competing on a horse. Horse went one way, she went the other when it jumped. And she had, I believe it was 3 surgeries on her right leg, just about 3 inches below her knee. And the doctors could not get the bone growth to happen. They couldn't get the leg to come back and start healing itself. And so they had scheduled an amputation.
Oh, wow.
She came to me a year ago, middle September, and they had scheduled it. I believe it was right before Thanksgiving. And so it was the week of Halloween that they canceled it, and we had 60% bone growth.
And that was from just
Increasing circulation.
increasing circulation. That's all that you did.
Yep.
And so did you?
Of the structured waters in her body.
Okay, got it.
The electrical system and the neurons and all the fluids we forced through that injured area, same as Caitlin's ankle. And so then the body does what it needs to. It knows how, as long as it's given the chance. And so that's all I do is I work with the circulatory system, specifically in the electrical system. And I work also with stuck neurons that get stuck somewhere. But the body will heal with that structured part movement of it. So if you think of your electrical system as a river, if that river is flowing hard, there's no trash collecting anywhere. There's no bad stuff growing. We're the same way. So if we become stagnant, you have all kinds of stuff gonna grow, and pain will manifest itself. Disease will start. But the faster we flow, the less you can get sick.
Now, is it a massage technique that you use? Is it just rubbing that area?
No, it's a form of Japanese acupuncture.
Okay, got it.
And so my 3 middle fingertips will be on 2 points that are on the same river, the same pathway. And then I'll feel a pulsation. And so when the pulse on both of them are synced up, and they kind of are a little bit behind the heartbeat, just a half a step behind it, then I know those 2 are now open, and the river between is working and flowing. And then I'll move one hand to the next point on that same pathway.
Okay, fantastic. All right, and you have your services on the website as
Yes,
well for those.
yes.
So we're
These are the products.
Yeah, we're gonna come over and look at. I'll get out of the way here.
So this first one is our the one that has chamomile, a little bit of rose geranium, and lavender. This mix, this blend I made for 3 CSU girls that were coming at the time. They did not know each other, but they all had anxiety and panic. And so I put these 3 together for the nervous system, and I told them to close their eyes, spray their face, and inhale. And it worked. And so you're welcome to try it. And so they said that not only did it work, their skin started to change. And that's when I knew it was more of a skin toner because of the rose geranium.
Right, now all of your products have to be shaken up really well, right? Because it's the whole plant essence and so the oils sit on the top.
Exactly.
Right?
We never remove our essential oil.
Oh, that smells good.
Every food, every plant. So if you take a potato, the potato, through the structured waters, it's basically a QR code. So that QR code is for the body. It tells the body exactly what it is, what it should nourish, where it should go. For instance, if you eat a carrot high in vitamin A, it goes and nourishes primarily the skin, the nails. But if you eat a cucumber, the same vitamin A is in it, but it's lower. It goes to the bladder and the kidneys. it's through that QR code, and they're actually receptors, the protein receptors, that they find a match in the body, so they know where to go. But if you take that potato and make it a potato chip, it no longer knows where it should go. And so that's why I leave all of our hydrosols together, intact. I don't remove anything because I'm after that QR code for the healing part of the skin and internal. If I take that apart, then I'm going to lose some of the, if I take that QR code and take part of it away, well then I'm not going to have 100%. It's a whole food, whether it's a blade of grass or a pear. And so I leave that completely intact, which is what you see here. Chamomile is blue.
The oil is noticing that there's a little blue.
And so that's the chamomile oil that collected on top. And that's how you can always tell that when everybody goes, what's the line on the top? That is the oils that they will always, they're thicker, so they'll always rise to the top. But we leave that completely together. And every single hydrosol is labeled with a date that he distills it. It makes 6 quarts. We take those 6, put them in a large jar, and put them through a shaker, like a paint shaker. And that makes it so the pH is the same on all 6. If I don't do that, the first quart, the pH is going to be different than the 6th quart.
Right.
And so I want it to be all as strong as I can get it. So we recombine that, blend it up, shake it up, and then we store them back in their quarts. And it's all been marked that it's gone through that process, it's gone through the structuring process, and now it's all living and ready to be used.
So this one your flagship product?
Yeah, that was the first one. And this is the one that did the precancerous skin lesions. It's actually the one on the end. That was that's the base to this one.
This is the base too.
And so this here is the base to this.
Okay.
That's this. And so this here is something that you would need like on any skin disorder, precancerous skin lesions, eczema, psoriasis. Actually, I don't know of a skin issue that it wouldn't work. Even on acne, it would work. I probably wouldn't put this on my face as much. Only it's not going to hurt it, but it doesn't have an extra moisturizing effect. So this base is this blend is this base.
Okay.
And then the women that I had in the tester group wanted me to turn it into a moisturizer.
Okay.
And so then I added macerated wild carrot root, which is actually from Queen Anne's lace, and I added rose hip. And that's mainly because it took this into a high vitamin A, C, and E. That's natural retinol.
Right. So if somebody had precancerous skin lesions or whatever, would you recommend this or would you recommend...
If they have a distinct issue going on, then I would recommend this one to go after it. This is more of a, what you would put on as a face moisturizer or a lotion, a body lotion. The molecular weight of exactly what comes out of a plant is perfect to be completely absorbed. Whereas if you make it into a lotion, it's now too thick. The cells are too thick. The molecular weight has to be light enough in order for it to get inside, and it has to be encased in a lipid. There's your lipids.
There's your lipids, is it right on the top? Yeah.
And so I leave it all intact, and this is just added for the extra moisturizer for face. I do it on my arms and legs, primarily in the summer. Every plant, no matter if it's a blade of grass or a vegetable, every plant produces a molecule called synapate. That is the plant's natural sunscreen. It allows them to take in the full spectrum of the sun, and then it takes in more UVB light, and it converts it. Well, we actually are the same thing. Recently, they found receptors, sun receptors, in our skin and the retina of our eye. We have to have the full spectrum of the sun. That's actually what protects us. And so when you distill, that synapate comes out in the hydrosol. So that's all we use as a protectant from the sun.
Yeah, I was noticing I started using this, and then I'm a big sunscreen gal because I'm really pale. So, but I started using that, and I went out one day, and I was out for 40 minutes, an hour, whatever, after I had been using this, and I didn't put any sunscreen because I hadn't intended to be out there
Right.
that long. And then I came in, and I had no sunburn whatsoever, and I was like, hey.
Right. That's all we use. I will never, ever anymore put a thick sunscreen on. They know for a while sunscreen was causing cancer. And then they started cleaning up their act. They started taking the aluminum out of it, making it healthier, but it's still too thick. And then it's going to clog up our pores, which means now I can't get what I need from the sun.
Yeah.
And so now I'm not going to be able to make my vitamin D. And so we don't use anything thick. This is all we use to protect whatever we need protected from the sun. It's not a sunscreen. Can't advertise it as that, but it does have sun protection. How far, how much of an SPF, that I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know we have not gotten burned from it, and this is the first year that it has this base, and I will swear by this base. This base is everything. The white pine, when I added it, was huge. We go and harvest white pine, and then he mulches it and then distills it. Because trees are phenomenal at healing. I didn't even know that until the last couple of years, but that's what they're using to work with cancer and other, even Parkinson's. I have a client or a customer that her sister she takes care of, and she constantly is shaking. And she told me a couple weeks ago that she said, I think for the first time she shakes less and she's more calm. And that's why. But all of this one, and not this one, but this one and those three, all are blended with magnesium. And magnesium is a mineral that we're all deficient on.
We're all deficient. I keep
Yeah.
hearing that over and over and over again. Now,
Yeah.
there's two schools of thought that you have to put magnesium on your skin in order to
Transdermal.
absorb it, as opposed to a supplement. But there are some people who talk about liquid magnesium being absorbed better,
which
into
is fairly
the skin.
new, yes. And you do there are a few liquid magnesiums that you do absorb. They don't know yet on how much you're absorbing. Like if you do it by pill, you're only absorbing they're
It's a
guesstimating
tiny percentage.
below 40%. But if you do it by skin, it avoids the digestive system. And so then you're absorbing over 85%. They think we used to do that. We used to get it in lakes, oceans, and rivers, and we're not exposed to that anymore. And so they think that's why we're all becoming. Plus, your body uses it as kind of a warfare against inflammation, which is also why we're deficient.
So your magnesium, now I've tried magnesium sprays or whatever. Some of them, they have that salty type of thing. It kind of stings my skin or itchy or whatever. How does yours compare with that?
So did some research and found out that if you use magnesium hexahydrate, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
And it absorbs a little more easily. So that's what we use on all the skin stuff. Now on the foot soak, the magnesium foot soak, that one is pure magnesium chloride. And I actually have 2 magnesiums in there. And so that one doesn't have the hexahydrate. That one's more of a foot soak. And your feet have the largest pores in the ball of your feet, and they'll absorb that just fine. But the hexahydrate is one we use for all skin. That way you don't feel that burn.
So this is your pain one that you were talking about when we were over there looking at the peppermint.
Right. This one's peppermint and rose geranium. Rose geranium is phenomenal at any kind of neuropathy, any kind of numbness, tingling, any kind of achy joint soreness, back soreness. It is outstanding. And when you combine it with peppermint cools everything, shrinks it. And so then rose geranium is able to go to work and blended with magnesium. That's the only 3 in there.
So you mean, if you're having the neuropathy and you're losing your sense of touch or whatever on any part of your body, it actually starts coming back.
Yeah, quickly. I was shocked at how quick, but then I realized it's because it's able to be absorbed. And so it doesn't have to sit anywhere and work to get in. It immediately goes in. We were down at the Denver Botanic Gardens Lavender Festival with our product line, and people would tell me, I'll test it, my whatever hurts. And they would rub it on their hip, and they go, I'm going to walk around and we'll see, and I'll let you know. I kid you not, they were back within 60 seconds and said, how in the world did that work so fast? And I would just laugh, but I said it's because it was able to be absorbed. And it's a QR code, it's a whole product, a whole food.
And then you have the magnesium. This is your sleep one,
Yes.
correct?
Yep. That's
Magnesium has been known for sleep as well as lavender. So.
Right. That's why that one sells so well. Both of them are known for sleep. Both go to work on your nervous system, extending that REM sleep and deepening it. And so that one that was great. That one is gold. That one's my golden boy. He works phenomenally well. You can also put it on something like, I do have clients that I'll tell, here, put this on your lower stomach if they're having blood sugar digestion issues. Maybe they need better balancing on their blood sugars. Their body can't do it as well, or they're pre-diabetic. So I'll tell them to put it on their lower stomach. We usually put it on the bottom of our feet, but I have clients that put it on their restless legs, and it takes that away. It will assist in the blood sugar balancing. So it doesn't have to be on the feet, but that's primarily where your body will absorb it quickly, that in the back of your neck.
But it's also the reason we've had to partner with other lavender growers because
You can't keep lavender around. You just sell out of it.
Right.
yeah, and with lavender, I mean, you get one shot at a year. It blooms once and you cut it and that's it. It's not like the chamomile and the calendula where you get multiple cuts every year. So
Right.
you get one cut about middle of July and that's it. And that's got to last you till the next year. So yeah, we've partnered with quite a few good folks.
Makes for a busy July because once it blooms in July, it needs to be distilled.
Yeah,
Like right away.
And so
yeah,
we're
so
cutting at all
spend
these
a lot
farms
of time with the still.
and Russ distills every day.
So I'm assuming that as this keeps growing, you're gonna have to get more stills and all of that type of stuff.
We've
as it
talked
goes.
about that, yeah. That will be, it's probably going to happen soon. This year was a struggle for us to keep up for the first time in June and July. It got super busy. My practice got super busy. And I think this next year we'll have to figure out how to hire a little more, a little more help.
A little more help, but this looks like a labor of love. Like
It is. This is the first year I can honestly say that every single product I am in love with. Every year I'll come up with something and it's like, it works, but maybe not all the time. And everybody's different. So maybe somebody it works 100%, and then somebody else might say, oh yeah, it worked a little bit. This year, probably the last year and a half. This line now, because this is the newest one, that one and the healthy skin actually, but this is the first year that every single one of them, it'd be hard for me. I always get, which would be your favorite? What should I start with? And it's like, oh, I don't really know. They're all my favorite now because they all have a distinct job.
Right.
And they work well. So right now, especially coming up to the holidays, our last market is tomorrow in Loveland. We created a gift sack that has the pain and the sleep, the two big magnesium products for that reason, because they are our biggest sellers. And so we put it on sale for now and getting ready to do a holiday bag with those two. They work. I've never seen anything work so well.
So for everybody who is watching this, they can get all of these products on your website,
Yes,
correct?
on the Alpine Essence Farm. Yes.
So alpineessencefarm.com, and I think that's all that we need for.
Do you have like a little picture of your email address or
Oh, yes.
something down?
Yeah, so we'll sit there and
we
see if
do.
we can zoom in on
It
some information
is
here.
Right there.
For
These.
everybody watching that they can go to alpineessencefarm.com, check out the products.
We usually do a Christmas open house here that they can come get Christmas presents in December. We usually do a weekend. That has gone really well. We're at the farmers markets, usually Berthoud in Loveland in the summers. Tomorrow's our last one at the Honey Festival in Loveland. And then they can, if they're local, they can order it and not pay for shipping and come pick it up, or we deliver it to Berthoud for free.
Okay. Well, this has been amazing, Mary Jo. Russ, thank you so much.
Sure, I'm glad
I
you
really
could come.
appreciate it. And so I will say goodbye to all of you guys watching, and we'll see you at the next Sacred Truth Group meeting.
Thanks, guys.